Thank you very much, Brother Sing Huat and Sister Cheng, for today's Sunday Pūjā chanting. Back with us, we have Brother Leng Huat to share on the Buddhism for Beginners Part 12. Since Chinese New Year is just around the corner, he'll be sharing on the significance of Chinese New Year. Over to you, Brother Leng Huat.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Brother Terence. Thank you, all chanters, for coming in this week again. Okay, so we will continue with our series of introducing Buddhism to newcomers. We go to part 12 today, but because it is also very close to Chinese New Year, we'll correlate that a bit with the Chinese New Year, okay? Now, we have actually covered on how to understand suffering. Its causes, its origination, its cessation, okay? Now we shall talk about the path. On the 12th, we talk about the path, which is also known as the Magga, the path to liberation. Now, each time I meet you all, when I discuss on this subject of the introducing Buddhism to newcomers, I always like to revisit stress or suffering, or dukkha, we call it in Pali, because it is not an easy word to understand, to realize. And so we have got to really try to understand dukkha, because the Buddha's teaching is all actually centered around dukkha and how to overcome dukkha. But this is actually the core of the Buddha's teaching, we say, okay? So now dukkha, when we say dukkha or suffering, I would like to use the word suffering here. It is not merely the pain, it is not merely the pain. As the saying goes, we all know, we always say pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. But I say sometimes, we cannot say all the time, pain is not suffering, so I say, okay? So I will quote to you again. They say that pain is inevitable, but suffering is optional. I put the word sometimes. Why? Because suffering is a mental reaction to pain. That is why people say that it is an option. It is optional. Okay? So we exaggerate the pain and it affects our mind and we become mentally sick also. We become very worried in life. So that is why we say it's optional. Okay. Now, but sometimes pain is also suffering. I said, I qualified myself in that statement. Why? Because there are three kinds of suffering the Buddha has taught us. First suffering is dukkha. Suffering of suffering. What does it mean? It's physical pain, physical pain. For those who are terminally ill, you visit those people who are terminally ill, we can see that pain is causing them a lot of suffering, So it can also cause suffering, not only the mentally suffering, the pain itself. That's why the first category of suffering, the Buddha says, is dukkha, suffering of suffering. And you can give examples now. When you visit people who are terminally ill, and you can see them in pain, and they need to take drugs to relieve them of that pain. So this is what we call dukkha. There are cases where this pain can be suffering. The second kind of suffering that the Buddha has told us is the viparinamas dukkha. Viparinama dukkha. The suffering of change. This change is manya masala, change. The frustration caused when pleasant experiences or the happiness changes. So this is called the suffering of change. We cannot accept that change. That change, kadang-kadang is a problem. A problem with change, they call it. Example, if you revisit your 8 vicissitudes in life, you can understand this suffering of change. Happiness, the Buddha says, is always counted. Happiness may end in sadness. Fame will end in blame. Pleasure will end in pain. And win may end with loss. So these are the 8 vicissitudes in life that shows changes. And these kind of changes can be suffering. And of course, the third kind of suffering, the Buddha says, is called 𝑠ankhara dukkha. Sankhara dukkha, all pervasive conditions suffering, we say. That is the basic anxiety of unsatisfactoriness that underlines all conditioned existence. What do you mean? Example, all conditioned things are not permanent. We have to accept that. So that is why it causes suffering. Sometimes all womb-born must grow old, all womb-born must fall sick eventually and die. So this is called all conditioned things. All conditioned things are suffering. So there's nothing permanent in life, the Buddha says. And then also we have covered a little bit on the cause of suffering. We say suffering is caused by the craving. Craving of what? Craving of the desire. That's the problem. It's not the desire alone. We always say desire is not wrong. Desire can be positive. Desire can be negative. Desire to improve yourself spiritually, to improve yourself spiritually, is positive. But desire to improve ourselves a little bit in our living conditions, those are positive. You cannot say all desires are negative. The problem the Buddha says here is panchu padana kanda, which means to say that the clinging of these aggregates or the clinging of the desire, craving of the desire with ignorance. Okay, not only that desire, but it's craving of the desire with ignorance and lack of understanding that all these things that we crave for are impermanent. That is the cause the Buddha says, not merely desire per se, okay? Because, so we say that. So the solution the Buddha says is, the Buddha, this is just a summary of what I've given you earlier. So the solution the Buddha says is the end of suffering, which is Nibbana. And how do you achieve this? The Buddha says is following the Eightfold Noble Path. The Buddha has put the solution on the silver platter for us. The Magga is placed on a silver platter given to us as a kit. Okay, we call it a DIY kit. Then we practice with this Eightfold Path with this DIY kit the Buddha gave us. And this DIY kit will lead us to detachment and liberation. This is called the Magga. If I quote, allow me to quote the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. It is called the Majjhima Patipada, or the Magga, we call it, or the path to liberation. Aryo Atangiko Maggo. That means the Noble Eightfold Path. 𝓿𝓼𝓲𝓪. That is, the Buddha says, allow me again to quote in Pali, Samma Ditti, Samma Sankappo, Samma Vaca, Samma Kammanto, Samma Ajivo, Samma Vayamo, Samma Sati, Samma Samadhi. Meaning to say, the Buddha says, this is the Noble Eightfold Path which leads you to the appeasement, to abhiññāna, to sambodhi, to nibbana. Okay? It produces jnana, wisdom. Wisdom that leads you to nibbana. So these are merely the path we follow. Okay? Okay, now basically Sammaditthi is right view. So what does it mean by right view? Generally, we'll just say that it's right view. Basically, we will say that it means not being attached to your own views or your own confrontational views. It does not mean that when you are right, somebody is wrong. I've always said that. Now, when you are right, it doesn't mean somebody is wrong. Example, I'll give you an example. I live in Malacca. Malacca, to go to Singapore, of course, you can go by the highway, the North-South Highway that leads you straight to Johor Bahru. But if somebody tells you go via Muar, then go via Tangka, go via Segamat, they are not wrong, It also leads you to Johor Bahru, okay? Via the Federal Highway. It may take a longer time, but some people might want to enjoy the scenery along the way. They want to have a nice cold drive along this Federal Highway. You see many trees, you go through many villages, you go to small towns, you enjoy the view. that eventually leads them also to Johor Bahru next to Singapore, leads you to Singapore. Okay, so what we are trying to say here is we mustn't be attached, basically be too attached to your own view or your own confrontational view. It does not mean when you are right, somebody is wrong. So that's what we are trying to say here. I've demonstrated to you what I feel, how I feel, okay? So now, let's now go to the part where we say that I have put as my subheading as significance of Chinese New Year. Okay, because it is Chinese New Year, so it's best to give you example on how it means by the Noble Eightfold Path in relation to the Chinese New Year. Okay, so in the context of Chinese New Year, right view, Samma Ditti. I have told you the first thing is Samma Ditti, which means to say that we refer to the approaching the festivity. Now, for those who are not familiar with the Malaysian Chinese culture or the Chinese culture of the world, we are celebrating our lunar Chinese New Year in 2 days' time. So people are all busy today, because I assume that all our listeners are Malaysian Chinese, but there could be people of other races. Or also, I think we have some people, some international listeners also. So now we are celebrating our lunar Chinese New Year in 2 days' time. In China, it's a very big festivity. In Malaysia, it's also very grandly celebrated by all the Chinese, regardless of what religion they possess. So okay. So in the context of this Chinese New Year, this is important. That's why I gave a subheading. It's called right view. So we refer to the approaching festivity with wisdom, with understanding, with mindfulness, rather than just a tradition or a superstition. Now, what do I mean by that? Okay, what do I mean by that, brother? Okay. Now, right view acts as a guide. Let's say right view is my guide for my celebration of this grand festivity called the Lunar Chinese New Year. 恭喜发财, we say, we tell to everybody, 新年快乐. Okay, what does it mean? So this will guide us, to lead us, what? Right view to act as a guide to ensure that during this holiday, we practice harmoniously, we practice peacefully, and that is how we celebrate. Okay, now let us connect the Chinese New Year festivity with the right view, in tandem with all the rest of the Noble Eightfold Path, of course. So now, before I start to talk, I was with a group of chanters, and we were talking to each other. Oh, have you cleaned the house? Are you ready for Chinese New Year? I say I can never be ready. Not until the New Year's Day itself. House cleaning can never be ready, I said. Okay, meaning to say that once a year, we all do our house cleaning very, very thoroughly. Okay? Now, how we put right view into this, We have always talked about putting meaning into our traditions and practice, So let's connect Chinese New Year cleaning, okay, Chinese New Year with the start of house cleaning. So, okay, now, I've also connected in my previous Chinese New Year talk that the tradition of cleaning house or Chinese New Year can be seen as a metaphor. Metaphor of what? As we clean our house, we throw away all those bad things that we have been, not bad, but things that are not very relevant to us, we tend to keep. In particular, I am guilty of this mooncake festival. You share mooncakes with people, people send you mooncakes, you sample mooncakes. It comes in very, very nice boxes, I think the boxes are more beautiful than the mooncakes sometimes. And then we tend to keep them, You eat the mooncake and you just throw the beautiful boxes, very beautiful boxes. And let me remind you, this box each may cost you about 8 ringgit to produce, And they top it up into the price of the mooncake, and then we just throw the box away, So normally I am guilty of that. Every year I will try to keep these mooncake boxes but nowadays I don't anymore Earlier days I keep, And then when New Year comes, we check. I've got 8 boxes of empty mooncakes. 8 empty mooncake boxes. So what I do, I throw them away lah, because they're useless one. They're occupying space. So we remove all these things. A lot of things that we keep throughout the year, when it comes to house cleaning, we throw it away lah. So that's why we use this as a metaphor. Metaphor of what? As we clean our house, we say that we are now. Let us remember, New Year is coming. We also try to clean our mind, correct? Remove it from all mental clutter. All this useless mental clutter, let go. You see, we let go of things that we like very much. I tell you, mooncake boxes was my favorite all along. I let go. So this is when we clean houses. We use the right view. We use this as a metaphor that we also, once a year, let us clear our mind of this mental clutter. All these defilements that we have, all these bad habits that we have, annually we let go them slowly, one after another, as we clean the house. Use it as a metaphor, and we throw away things that we hoard. We also try to throw and remove our mental clutter. Remove them of the defilements. We reduce all this attachment to all these bad things that we harbor all the time. We let go of these unwholesome thoughts. So that is one way we apply this right view. Right view, as we clean the house, take it as a metaphor of cleaning our mind too. Then we do it. Now, the second thing that I remember doing every time, now I'm also the president of the Theravada Buddhist Council, meaning to say that every year I have to put in a message, my New Year message lah, every year lah. Not every year, as long as I'm president, I do lah. Okay. Now, last year, I remember I spoke about the year of the snake. Wow, it was year of the snake. So I say the right view encourages the understanding of the true nature of reality. Belum lagi gitu. So we all excited about year of the snake last year. We were all excited. So I remember in my annual message, I said that the year of the snake can be a time for change and putting insecurities behind. Okay, this is what I said last year. Why do I say that? Because the year of the snake in the Chinese zodiac calendar is the snake represents wisdom, transformation and renewal. Why? Because the snake changes its skin as it grows. I say, snakes shed their skin as they grow. I said, as we are we prepared to shed our skin? I said last year, okay? Perhaps to transform ourselves from spiritual and physical for the spiritual and physical betterment. That's what I wrote last year. Transform ourselves like the snake that changes its skin. We must transform ourselves, okay? Now, that means this starts with beginning of our day with positive thoughts, leaving behind insecurities. Let us adopt this form for this Chinese New Year. That was last year, 2025, when it was a year of the snake. So I wrote there's the shedding of skin as a metaphor again. I use it as acting out of fear and blind faith, understanding the year of the snake, not because, we have to pantang here and there, we have to move here and there. No. So instead of, so that's what I said last year. Instead of worrying about taboos in the Chinese New Year, we focus on cultivating a pure mind. Transform ourselves with benevolent intentions. This is right view in tandem with right mindfulness. Okay, Samma Sati. Right mindfulness. Now, this year, of course, my message is no more on the snake. So we will talk about year of the fire horse, or fiery horse, or horse on fire. Again, here I said that we welcome the horse on fire. Fire of what? Fire burning with our effort to overcome difficulties. Okay, read my message, will be out in 2 days' time. We are talking about the message of endless effort to practice the Buddha's teaching, endless effort of enthusiasm, endless effort of being charismatic, of being helpful to people. So this is what the message is. Now, last year was snake, this year horse, and there was some other year, some other things. Now, put this right view into practice again. What does this mean? It means that all things are impermanent. Last year was snake, this year is horse, next year going to be, if somebody tell me next year is going to be, I forgot so what. So every year it changes. It will remind you when we do this, it is not, this all rubbish, Chinese superstition. No, I take it positively that it is reminding me of a change. Every year I know there is a change. So every year I must also change my habits, correct? From the snake to the horse, I've transformed myself from a snake to the qualities of a horse. So that is the meaning of that. It reflects also sometimes on impermanence. It reflects on impermanence when we talk about this year, every year, tukar, changing here, changing there, but it is about impermanence. And the basic quality of a Buddhist, Buddhism, the main core teaching is about impermanence. Now, again, after we have cleaned our house and we are all preparing for a very good reunion dinner. Again, what is the significance of this dinner? I've always put meaning into all these things that we do. I don't discard my culture. I am a very staunch Buddhist. I maintain my culture and I put meaning into my culture. Now, when we have got this reunion dinner, what does it remind me? Do you know that this reunion dinner reminds us of family bonding, where we share good thoughts all the time for the season, right? We never get angry during the family reunion, What do we do? During the reunion dinner, we will 𝓿𝓼𝓪 lah, for those local, what's 𝓿𝓼𝓪, we will 𝓿𝓼𝓪, wow, good luck lah, good luck. Oh, may you be well and happy. May you achieve your dreams, and we will stir those 𝓿𝓼𝓪 things lah. And then we will wish everybody good health. May you achieve your dreams. May your dream come closer. May your aspiration gets closer to you this year, comes closer, or may you achieve them. For the old folks, they see the younger people, they say, when are you getting married? Correct? So we all have good wishes during that time. Correct? So during the family bonding, our thoughts were all positive, remember. Correct? This is what we have to continue to practice daily after that, if we can, where our thoughts are very pure and wholesome and always good. We wish them well, we wish them good luck, we wish them that the dreams and aspiration can be achieved, and all these reflecting on our good thoughts. Can we not maintain that thoughts all the time? Right? At least we know that during this season, we speak of good words only. Our thoughts were also very wholesome. Okay, we are also practicing Samma Vaca, right? Speech. We never go to a family reunion and get angry or nothing. We tend to laugh at things many mistakes that are made. That we laugh at it. Can that be our culture? Can we assimilate that daily for the rest of the 365 days of the year? That is how we should view it. That is called the right view of, that's how I put meaning into the Chinese New Year. So that is again that. Then again, don't forget also, it is during this Chinese New Year that we express our gratitude. Right? Our children come home and greet us and pay respects to us. We have open houses for our friends and for our relatives. Let the open house be big or small, but we still invite our friends and relatives. We either give them food, we offer them to have lunch in the house, or we offer them tidbits, and it will be a joyous thing. No backbiting going on, no gossiping. It's all about, hey, you've done well last year, how was your year? And everybody's wishing everybody well. 恭喜发财, 新年快乐, Happy New Year. May you prosper this year. Correct. So these are the good wishes we have. So that's expressing our gratitude. We invite all our close relatives and friends to the house. In gratitude that we had a very successful year, directly, indirectly, with their support. And we are all grateful. Right? And we say that thank you very much. Oh, thank you for coming. Let's eat something, and then we enjoy ourselves very much. Okay? So that is again, that's what we say, that it gives us a chance to express our gratitude. And that is also practicing our 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓭𝓪 Sutta, I taught in 𝓿𝓾𝓷𝓲𝓪 or 𝓤𝓷𝓲𝓪 Sutta, where the Buddha says that when you have earned money, you must learn to share it with your family and then with your relatives, your friends. So when now we have managed to save some money, end of the year we have a makan with them now. We have a small party in the house. So reflective of that kind of gratitude and the bonding, the family bonding. Okay. Now again, many of us also, sometimes we don't go to temple. I go to temple. I go to temple very regularly, but there are sometimes people are too busy, they don't go. But at least, I tell you this, at least this year, on the Chinese New Year Day, they all will visit the temple, and they'll do dana in the temple. They will give ang paos to the venerables in the temple. At least you know that they remember the practice of dana. They remember to be generous. Okay, and then this will seep slowly into the mind, and then they'll do it more regularly. Many of us, we do it very, very regularly. We do dana to the monks, we give ang pao to the monks, we give charity to the homes, we do that. We do that. Okay, so this is an opportunity, I say. An opportunity, again, I say, opportunity to do dana and generosity. I like to quote this lines from others, people from the other religion. They say that time for sharing, time for love and sharing. Yes, correct. That's what the Buddha says also. We must time to share with all our relatives and friends, with all the monks we share. Okay, so it's time for sharing. So this is what it reminds me. So all this during this festivity, I will remember all these qualities, all these qualities that they bring up in me. And then we practice it slowly, that something it seeps into you without you realizing it. All right, but it starts with the Chinese New Year. All right, it starts with the Chinese New Year. So we do that. And again, I think last but not least, during this Chinese New Year, we learn something very important. We learn about self-restraint. Like I've said, during the Chinese New Year is the time where wherever you go, food is served. Beautiful sweet things, very nice things. We just spoke about sweet things. As you grow older, you become sweeter. You tend to have a sugar factory with you. So we carry sugar factory with us. We also have a quarry with us. Wow, when you're old, you become sweet and very rich. You have crystals with you. You carry crystals everywhere you go. And you look very sweet all the time. So that is when you grow old. But during this time, it reminds you, brother, practice restraint. For those who are actually already sweet, please practice restraint. Avoid sugary food. Correct? Now, for those who are still healthy, it's a reminder for them, look at the elders and practice restraint. Don't overeat and don't overdrink. We start with the Chinese New Year. We don't overeat, we don't overdrink. Drinking means drinking of alcohol. Normally, Chinese New Year is the time where we yam sing. We are not saying don't enjoy yourself. Don't get it wrong. The Buddha never said that you cannot enjoy yourself. In the mundane world, we still rely on this kind of mundane happiness. Correct? You cannot avoid this mundane happiness. Don't think that, oh, I cannot go out eating and enjoying myself a bit with my family. No, I cannot enjoy a bit of the song. What? Kongsi, me, wow, all joys. Cannot enjoy. No, we can. Don't worry. As long as all these little things we do not breach our 5 precepts. Right? Okay, we revisit this statement. So when we say that we can enjoy ourselves, now, why? Basically, if you reflect carefully, we have not achieved eternal happiness. Correct? We are still in a mundane world where the 8 vicissitudes in life are always there. Happiness, sadness, win, loss, all these things are happening. We have not seen eternal happiness. Let us enjoy a bit of this kind of mundane happiness. But remember, this mundane happiness are not perpetual. We are still striving for the eternal happiness. We remind ourselves each time we enjoy. We know that this is, today I makan a bit, I enjoy myself a bit. Does not mean that this is the eternal happiness. Be reminded that this is only a temporary relief but when we achieve the eternal happiness, we can overcome all this. So this is what we are trying to say, that it gives us a chance to practice restraint and also to practice some concentration on this kind of practice and to practice your samma kammanto, your right actions that you do. You practice your samadhi, you practice your ajivo, right livelihood. Don't simply eat and drink. So these are the things that reminds me, okay, that I am actually practicing things. I'm restraining myself to realize, also to practice the 8-fold path. Correct? So now we know that we are talking about this, and this makan thing, we keep on eating everywhere, is also about our right mindfulness. Be mindful that when you do things, you don't do excessively. Okay, this is called samma sati, right? Mindfulness, whereby we don't do things excessively, drink excessively, eat excessively. This is wasteful of food, correct? And then also you allow it to cloud your mind. So we must practice good livelihood, which is samma ajivo. Refrain from excessive indulgence of food and drinks. Okay? And put in the right actions of avoiding these things. Okay? So these are the things. And why do we do all this? So for us, every year, we should remind ourselves of this. And then this will actually lead you to inner spiritual happiness. Eventually, I say, not now, eventually you cultivate inner spiritual happiness or concentration. Okay? Right? Or you practice your concentration and realize that these external criteria will not give you that permanent happiness you seek for. I'm not saying avoid all this. I'm saying that we must, as we enjoy ourselves, we must remind ourselves that this is not eternal happiness, and we restrain ourselves from overindulgence. Okay, the word here we will say overindulgence. We don't want to overindulge ourselves. So in essence, we say right view will turn this holiday for us, okay? Will turn this holiday for us into an opportunity for spiritual growth, okay? So we take it as an opportunity for spiritual growth instead of transforming this tradition into a commercial celebration. Okay, many people do that also lah. Okay, it's not wrong livelihood, I guess. It's an opportunity to make some money lah. Okay, so for us, we remember it's an opportunity for spiritual growth, and also a time for family bonding. Okay, I personally cannot remember of those Chinese New Year or during a great festival, where we gossip and talk about bad things and we start quarreling among our families. That does not happen. Okay? So that means to say that definitely it will help us to transform all this. Transform ourselves for spiritual growth. Okay? And then maybe 𝘿𝙝𝙖𝙢𝙢𝙖, always remember, when we 𝘿𝙝𝙖𝙢𝙢 this year, we always have good thoughts. Our mind was good, pure thoughts, correct? Idea was pure, wishes were pure, words were sweet. And if we can continue to cultivate and maintain this, okay? And this is called the Dhamma moment. Now remember, when we do this, we say this is the Dhamma moment. I am wishing all my family members, at least we start with ourselves and our family members and our relatives and friends, to be well and happy. This is my Dhamma moment. Okay? All past misunderstandings are not recalled. We don't want to recall those things on this particular day. Now, continue to not recall it the next day. Continue to not want to recall it the next week, and continue and forget everything. So that's how we can overcome sometimes some misunderstandings. We start with the good day. Okay? So with that, I think I've taken your time. I know everybody is busy today. In the last minute cleaning, it includes me also. I've got to go and keep all my gardening tools. So okay, with that, I will say thank you very much. And I'll see you on the New Year's Eve. We have got our puja at 11 p.m. to usher in the year of the horse. And where we will also be telecasting the messages from our monastic advisors and some of our members who has contributed to me. Okay, so with that, I say thank you very much. And over to you, Brother Terence. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leng for today's sharing. Now let's dedicate some merits to all beings, whether they are seen or unseen. Akasatha ca bhummatha deva naga mahedika punyang tam anumoditva chiram rakkantu loka sasanang etta ca amhehi sampadang punya sampadang sabbe deva sabbe bhuta sabbe satta anumodantu sabba sampati siddhiya. Idang minyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang minyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. Idang minyatinang hotu sukita hontu nyatayo. And aspirations. Imina punya kammena mame bala samagamo satang samagamu hotu yava nibbana pattiya. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. As Brother Leng mentioned, do join us on Facebook, TBCM Facebook, during New Year's Eve at 11 p.m. for the chanting to usher in the year of the fire horse. Bye bye for now. See you again next week.